Hi everyone, my name is Sharan Tapia and you are watching You Multicultural channel. Today we are here with our first educational series on behalf of Asian women of Winnipeg. We have a very special guest with us today, Ketki Purohit. Ketki, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Sharan.
So tell us about yourself.
I'm a lawyer practicing in Winnipeg. My basic or my main area of practice is real estate, family law, and wills. I came from India in 2013 and then completed my education and started practicing over here. And I have a mom of two. We are a family, and me, my husband, and 2 kids is all we are over here. So this is a small family, and I'm trying to build a community out here and educate them as much as I can on topics or help them in a way they want. Yeah.
And you are volunteering with another association. Tell us a little bit about that.
So this is about, I started, my kids were going in the daycare, and I'm part of that daycare board of directors for last 8 years almost, and I'm chairperson of that community center of daycare, and it has been a privilege, and it has given me a great insight how kids, how our families are working together, and society in general is helping towards a good upbringing of kids. So this has been a really good experience working there with them.
Great. So as a woman, when you are working and especially after COVID, you must be experiencing calls from many women going a separate way. This is a very sensitive topic, but we need to talk about it. Yeah. So tell us a little bit more about separation and divorce, and what is the difference between both?
So when we say about, definitely as you said, after COVID, because COVID has given us a different perspective of life.
Yes.
And made us aware of our own, what is important to us. And when we talk about separation and divorce, it is, to begin with, it is a very difficult topic to discuss. And in Canada, I would say there is, we think about legal separation and then divorce. So I would say there is no legal separation.
Okay.
When we call it separation, it is like when parties decide, or when spouses or common law partners or married couples, they decide that they don't want to live together. That is the day then they are called separated, and they don't have to go to court to legalize it, because there is nothing like legal separation or file something to make it legal that they are not living together.
Okay.
On the other hand, when we talk about divorce, divorce is only applicable to married couples. It is not applicable on common law spouses. So there is a huge difference between married couples and common law spouses, because both kind of a relationship are legalized or are acceptable in Canadian community or society.
So the separation, when it happens, when people decide they're going to go separate way.
Yeah.
And when you are not married, it does not apply to the common law. That's what you're saying.
No, separation applies to common law as well.
Okay.
When couples decide to stay together, or when we call about common law spouses or common law partners are for at least when they are together for 3 years of period of time, or they have registered their relationship with a vital statistic. They don't have to do that, but they can do that. It's an optional thing. Or they have a child out of their relationship.
Right,
so they, in that situation, even they can be called, they decide to separate. They don't need to be married, but the only difference that is applicable is divorce. They cannot apply for divorce, because divorce is a federal law, and that is only applicable in a married couple situation.
So in order to have a divorce, you have to be not legally, like separated, or separation is not mandatory?
Separation is the first step towards divorce.
Okay.
But it is kind of like, you don't need to get divorced. Like, you can be separated for your life. You don't need to file for a divorce. Yeah. You need divorce only when one party wants to remarry, because in that situation they need to provide a certificate that you were previously married and now you want to go ahead and remarry. So in that situation, you need to apply for a divorce, but there is a condition like you need to be separated for at least 1 year, and then only you can file for divorce. But there is no as such requirement that if you are separated, divorce will be automatic, or you need to file for a divorce.
You need to file.
Yeah.
So in order to file, there must be a legal procedure.
Yes.
So when that happens, what is the first step? Let's say your spouse overnight. It doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah.
But it happens sometime, you know, all of a sudden your partner decided they wanted to go their separate way. So many women we having calls from experiencing after COVID especially, that overnight their husband coming home and saying they wanted to separate it, they wanted to move out. And these women have no idea what to do.
Yeah.
So what do you suggest or ask them to do? The first thing they should be doing?
In such situation, like because being a woman and if there are kids involved,
yes.
then it becomes even more stressful and
yes.
for women.
Yeah.
And for any partner, like it not necessarily about women, but it could be either of the spouse.
If the news is to the woman.
If
then.
the news is to the women, because it is considered as she's the primary caregiver of a child, if a child is involved.
Right.
Then in that situation, it is really important first to look for things that she can rely on. Like
right.
if there is family, you need your support.
Yes.
First of all, you have to take into consideration, like, are you financially stable, or what are you thinking about your finances as your partner decide to separate with you? Is there a sufficient support system available for you?
Right.
How are you going to deal, or how are you break that news to your kids? How are they going to react? So there are various factors that are involved.
Yes.
And it is always suggested that don't get angry or don't get frustrated, and it is really hard to control your emotions in such situation. It is easy to say than to do, because that is a life-changing event.
Yes, especially when you build a life with the partner, and especially so many women we know, they haven't worked.
Yeah.
They haven't worked in their life because they are the main caretaker, they are the house builders, and all of a sudden they have to go separate way, and many women don't even know where to go, where to start. If you have family, you are very lucky.
Yeah.
If you don't have a support system, then you're going to end up calling a friend.
Yes.
So let's say somebody call you, what is the best advice you give them? To see you in person, you go visit them, and what kind of advice you give them?
It is always good that they come and visit us.
Okay.
Because in that situation, we are in a neutral environment.
Right.
Sometimes it's really hard for a person who is going through that process to vent out, and they need a safe place to vent out all their feelings without being judged. So it is really important that you see there are various support systems available in our community.
Okay.
So when we say about it should not be that case, but if you need, there are like women's shelters, women's associations that are helping out people, because you don't know if you have a house today but not tomorrow, then where are you going to go and take your kids with you? So you should be, there are many agencies that are working towards that. Government or our community is really active on those aspects. So yeah, you should try, and you should contact your community manager or the advisor, or sometimes even lawyers, or we can guide you to contact those people, and we can connect with you with them, so you have at least some easy transition in that process.
So what is the legal step they need to take once they come to you? Let's put it that way.
We would say that if they have decided that they are separating, and it is always better to get your separation agreement prepared, because that way you know that what are the things that are important to you, like child support.
Yes.
By the time you are going back on financially stable, you need, at least kids needs routine.
Right.
They need to be fed, they need house, they need shelter, they need clothing. So this is the thing that cannot be, so to provide all those, you need money, and that is the way, like, and if you are not working, it becomes more harder for you to provide that. So there are separation agreements, and we try and make, we put everything detailed in that agreement that will help you to provide with your basic necessity by the time you are back on track, or at least financially stable or working again.
Can you clarify a little bit on the assets division? So if they have house or few properties, some other assets, different accounts, of course, savings, how the division will happen? If the lady, let's say, never worked in her life, and she's dependent 100% on her husband's income and support, so how the division will happen in that case? So still 50-50, or what is it?
Yeah, so in that situation where women was the caregiver or of the child and was providing or was supporting her spouse so that he can progress in his own profession, and she's staying back to take care of family, home, and upbringing of the kids. In that situation, the court will look into like how, there are a number of factors, like how long was your marriage for? If you were married for 10 years, 5 years, how long it was? Have you ever worked? How are you going to support yourself after separation and divorce? Is there means for you to go back into workforce? How long you have been out of workforce? Because so it all depends on your situation, and every situation is different. And regarding the property divisions, when we say about, if you own a property, if you are not on the title of the property, but you were part of that family and you have lived together, you get a right in that property. So there could be like a lump sum payment, or you can get a share in your property.
So there is no hard fast rule. That's what you are saying.
Yeah.
So every case is different.
Yes.
So it's very important to talk to your lawyer.
Yeah.
It's very important to talk to the professional.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So one more question before we conclude. So when somebody phone you or come and see you, what is the best advice you give them? To file, or should they calm down or find an alternate solution? So what is your first suggestion to any woman in this case?
Give yourself time, because families are easy to break but difficult to make. And
Right.
So that is why there is a process called separation. Separations give couples time to think about their priorities. Sometimes they don't. They just need space from each other, and then they realize that it is okay. There are certain things that they can work together.
Right.
So it's always better to give yourself time. Never take any decision in just
heat of the moment.
Heat of the moment, yeah. And it's always nice to talk to your professional before going ahead and doing anything.
Thank you, Ketki. So anyone who's watching, if you are going through this tough time, it's a very sensitive topic. Sometimes it's hard to talk to your friend. It's better to talk to a professional. Friend can only tell you what they have experienced. If they have not experienced something like this, it's very important for you to talk to a professional. Just like Ketki, there are many women lawyers as well. If you need somebody to talk to in your own language, that's the best thing you can do, is find out. You can phone Ketki and find out about many things, or any professional, because as Ketki said, there's no hard fast rule. Every case is different, and you need a best advice, and a friend is a friend, not a professional. So we will be bringing Ketki again to talk a little bit more on this topic. But thank you so much for your time. I hope people have gained insight. If you are going through a rough time or a difficult time and separation hitting your relationship, it's better to talk to a professional. We will be bringing Ketki back in the studio. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you Multicultural TV for giving us the opportunity. On behalf of Asian Women of Winnipeg, I'd like to say thank you to everyone. Thank you.